everybody, it is Blonde Blitz time. Let's go.
He's had, but I still like the Commanders.
I'm also tough.
Jamar Chase. I'm looking at that Cincinnati team against the Cleveland Browns.
Well, as soon as I saw the rain last night, I was wondering if that might be a little bit of a factor as well.
How we play that week is really going to be more impacted.
With the Raiders, who got Jacoby Myers back.
The same thing with Joe Burrow. You just expect Joe Burrow to do it because he's been to a Super Bowl.
It's time to send in the Blitz with Deb Whitcas and the Blonde Blitz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blonde Blitz. I'm your host, Deb Whitcas. Week 2 is in the books, and we are headed to week number 3. We've got a great show for you today. I'm so excited to have him. My special guest is Myles Adams. He's the current defensive end for the Detroit Lions. We will get his hot takes on week 2 and hear all about his football career and current endeavors. New to the Blitz, comedian Jacqueline Marfugi joins us for some week 2 comedy. You may have seen her as the MC of Magic Mike in Vegas, among other performances. Shay Holland, HGTV designer to the athletes, talks players opening their own restaurants and how to win your own private watch party food spread. And speaking of food, Chef Virginia, private chef to NFL athletes, gives us the perfect cocktail for game day. As far as the rest of the show, you guys know it. Sports betting expert Alex White is here from Vegas to give you your best bet for week number 3. Fantasy expert Ballers Meg gives us her fantasy picks for week number 3. Intuitive reader 333 Ask Carrie looks at the power deck cards for the Bucks versus Jets game this week. And finally, Ben Troupe, former tight end from the Bucks and the Titans, has the evening off, but Commissioner Cooper from TSS Fantasy is here to help me with week 3 game picks. All right, guys, we've got a packed full show. Can't wait to get it started. Let's go with headlines.
Now to Deb Whitcas with the Blonde Blitz headlines.
Week 2 delivered even more chaos throughout the league, especially with 10 games decided by one score and 3 games settled in the final minute or in overtime. 4 teams that missed last year's playoffs, the Cardinals, Bengals, Colts, and 49ers, are all off to a hot start, 2-0. The Colts stayed perfect behind Daniel Jones, 316 yards and 2 scores in a 29-28 win over Denver. In Dallas, kicker Brandon Aubrey became the first player ever to hit a game-tying field goal at the buzzer and a game winner in OT, lifting the Cowboys past the Giants 40-37. Lamar Jackson threw 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase posted 14 catches for 165 yards. Christian McCaffrey reached the 50 rushing, 30 receiving TD club, and Aaron Rodgers tied Brett Favre for 4th all-time with his 508th touchdown pass. Now let's move on to the players of the week. You guys know how much I love these. In the NFC, offensive player of the week went to Detroit quarterback Jared Goff, who threw for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns with a 156 passer rating. It's his 7th career player of the week award. Defensive player of the week was San Francisco's linebacker Fred Warner, who tallied 11 tackles, a forced fumble, and a recovery. It's his 4th career player of the week honor. And special teams player of the week went to Dallas kicker Brandon Aubrey, who I spoke about before, who drilled all 4 field goals, including a 64-yarder to tie and a 46-yarder in overtime. It is his 4th career player of the week nod. In the AFC, offensive player of the week went to Indianapolis running back Jonathan Taylor, who racked up 215 scrimmage yards and caught a touchdown pass. It is his 4th career player of the week honor. Defensive player of the week was Baltimore linebacker Raquan Smith, who led the league with 15 tackles and scored on a 63-yard fumble return. It's his 1st career player of the week. And finally, in special teams, player of the week went to New England's Antonio Gibson, who had 171 return yards, including a 90-yard kickoff touchdown. It's his first career player of the week honor. All right, guys, that is your week 2 headlines. Let's see what week 3 brings. All right, guys, I'm so excited to have my next special guest. He's taking a quick break from his prep to play the Ravens this week. We saw him make a tackle on the field last week against Chicago. He's going to help me with hot takes first. Then we're going to learn all about his football career. Everyone, please help me welcome current DE for the Detroit Lions. Give it up for Miles Adams.
I'm still waiting for my invite as a special guest on the Blonde Blitz. My agent is waiting for your call, Deb.
Hi, Miles.
Hey, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
I cannot complain coming off the win last week.
Right? Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with that. The Lions dominated Chicago 52-21. You guys killed it out there. You made that tackle during that game. Walk me through that moment.
Oh no, I actually didn't play that last game.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. All right. I thought I saw.
No, I didn't play that last game, but the boys were out there hooping. The D-line definitely was out there hooping.
Yeah.
Yeah, got some sacks. Hutcher got back and got his first sack. Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the key moments in the game.
Man, we had a couple players that played lights out. I think they said Saint had his first 3-touchdown game.
Yep.
I think we had JMO averaging 2 catches for 108. It's like Madden stats, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. My boy BB had a great game. Had a sack himself. Had a forced a turnover. That was a big pivotal moment of that game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is it like? What was the locker room celebration like after? You got to tell me.
Oh, the locker room celebration, man. I mean, you got to give it up once for the fans at Ford Field. That was electric. The first home game, it was electric. We just got to. It was actually. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it was part of our ownership's birthday, Mrs. Ford. So celebrated that as well. Dana shouted her out. You know, she enjoyed the win, enjoyed seeing us whoop up on the Bears a little bit. So.
Did you guys get her a cake or anything? Was she in the locker room?
Nah, just the game ball though. Just the game ball.
Oh, you gave her the game ball. Okay.
Yeah, we gave her a game ball.
Okay, that's very cool. So let's talk a team, unfortunately, that didn't win. The Chiefs have now dropped to 0-2 for the first time since 2014. And that's the season that the Chiefs missed the playoffs. And this is the first time, too, that Patrick Mahomes has gone 0-2 in the NFL ever in his career. As a player, how tough are you guys on yourselves or on your teammates, you know what I mean, when you lose a game or have a rough start to the season?
Honestly, I think that's best shown with the change we made from week 1 to week 2 after the loss we took to the Packers.
Yeah.
I
wasn't going to bring that up, by the way.
No, it's okay. It's okay because we moved
forward.
Yeah, we move forward. I think it's a great it's great to hit it early, you know, adversity early on. But, you know, first of all, getting a win in the NFL is hard enough. So the work you put in throughout the week, you obviously, you know, it's a terrible feeling when you come up short. So you take it into the next week. And if you're, you know, getting it done, you got to use that to fuel the fire. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it makes the victory even more sweeter, right?
Especially when you can put 50 on somebody.
Exactly. Right.
Ding, ding, ding. Makes it real sweet. Yeah, I can't even lie about that. No, I felt good. It was a great celebration. Yeah,
I'm sure it was. And speaking of winning, the Eagles beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and in Super Bowl and in the rematch. They've now beaten the Chiefs 3 times in a row. During the last kneels of the game, however, Chris Jones said to Hurts, "You didn't even have 100 yards." And then Hurts replies, "We won the effing game. Shut your A up." Here's my question about that. How much trash talk do you guys do out on that field?
Yeah, you get a glimpse of it. I actually enjoy watching the mic up segments, you know, after the weeks. You know, I catch myself watching them sometimes. So trash talk on the field, that's just part of the game. That's the nature of the game. You know, I thought it was pretty fun. I saw that myself on social media. I did.
do you guys kind of like egg on each other, or like, you know what I mean? Like, is it like it's just it's a, I mean, it's a game. It's money's on
Yeah,
the
you know
line.
what I'm saying? You never take it super serious, you know. Sometimes
Okay.
tempers flare, obviously. Some guys, can't handle it, but it's part of the game for me. I'm not somebody that's gonna go initiate and just start talking trash and stuff like that. But I've done my fair share.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I've done my fair share. Yeah, I be talking on the field.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the QB injuries that have happened. Joe Burrow suffered a turf toe in week 2 against the Jags. He's going to be out for 3 months. Jaden Daniels suffered a sprained knee in week 2 against the Packers. He's questionable for this week. JG McCarthy, who's has played 1 game or 2 games, suffered a high ankle sprain against the Falcons. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Is it early in the season for these injuries to occur? Like, why do you think they're happening? And how do you and your teammates pivot and make that adjustment so quickly when it does happen?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's a couple pieces to that. So having injuries early, especially to your quarterback, that's not anything a team wants to go through early on in the season.
Right, of course.
Joe Burrow, he's down 3 months. I think they said it's a timetable for that. That's getting into December, stuff like that. Which you can get your quarterback for the stretch if you're having a good season up to that point. But thing about injuries, you never really know when they're going to happen. Sometimes stuff can linger and guys are battling through and pushing forward through the adversity. Sometimes you got to play through a little ailment, but you definitely can't really predict when someone's going to get injured. You just got to roll with it.
And like, how does it affect, like, in the moment, how does it affect everybody? Like, do people, you know what I mean? Like, do you just put in backup, or like you guys just try to, pray and then like go forward?
Yeah, you saw a good case of that. Shout out to our teammate Mo Norris when he went down in the preseason.
Right.
We had huddled around I want to say it was around the 50, but us and the Falcons players, I remember I was a part of that. So injury is part of the game. I'm not going to say anyone's more serious than the next one, but when something like that happens, especially to like, a Joe Burrow, it's a quarterback of people that have dealt with injuries. It's a big sting, especially if it's one of your starting guys. But the next man up, you got to be ready. That's why they got depth. That's why you got these depth pieces, because at the end of the day, it's to win the game.
Right. And I think the stat is like 100%. You have 100% chance of getting hurt in the NFL. Like, I think that's pretty legit. But you know what I mean? Like, I think it's 100%. You have 100% chance of getting hurt, because you guys are all professionals. You've been playing the game a really long time. And you guys are all big guys.
Crazy job requirement, right?
Right. It is. Well, let's get into a little bit about you and football and your career. Why football? Why do you love it?
Ooh, why do I love football? Man, football's taught me so much about the game of life. It's given me so much. It's allowed me to meet a lot of great people. It's taught me a lot of things about myself, how to handle conflict, how to work together with a team, how to strive for a goal and put your best foot forward. It's an all-encompassing game. And the good thing about it is, especially being in the position I'm in, which I'm blessed and grateful for, I can pay it back and pay it forward to all the things that were poured into me as a child. And I started playing football when I was 9 years old. Yeah. Started playing football when I was 9 years old. And it was not my first sport. I thought I was going to be a soccer or some type of hooper. I actually grew up watching LeBron play. But,
we all did, right?
You know what I mean? I grew up watching LeBron play, had the book fair poster plastered on my wall when I was younger. But I fell in love with football because one of my coaches, and really, really appreciate for him, my high school O-line coach, actually. Okay. He sat me down and he was like, "Hey, son, you're going to be in for the off season." It was after my sophomore year, because I played basketball as well. And he looked at me, he was like, "I think you need to, power lift this off season." I said, "No, I can't. I'm going to be playing basketball this off season." He was like, "I'm going to tell you the truth. There's not too many 6'2", 260-pound point guards in the NCAA. Anybody looking to offer you there?" I said, "I advise you to stick it out with this football thing." And so I started taking it serious, or more serious than I already did. Because, I'm from Texas. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah, Texas is huge for football.
Yeah, it's definitely our thing, especially high school. It's definitely our thing. But yeah, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it early. Fell in love with how good it felt to, get a win and to have those moments with your teammates. You always remember those bus rides after a game from high school and stuff like that.
And do you still live for that moment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The goal
It's
is a
a
Super
high,
Bowl.
right? It's a high
Yeah.
that nothing else can match.
The goal is a Super Bowl, and I haven't felt that. So
Okay. Well, you guys could be there this year. You guys, I mean, have a great squad, and I'm definitely rooting for you.
glad you think so.
Talk about a little bit. When did you realize that you could possibly go pro?
It kind of, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of the way I attacked my goals when I was in college. I knew there's always an opportunity based off of me being in the FBS, in that bowl subdivision. So I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. But I guess it got real when I got pulled for an interview, and it was actually with the Vikings. And a scout from the Vikings had just interviewed me. He came to Rice and was getting some information on me, nothing too much.
Okay.
And I was like, oh wow.
So you actually had a scout from the Vikings come?
Yeah, I've had when I was at Rice, I had scouts come from different teams. They kind of come in and they do their due diligence and come and ask about certain players, et cetera, things of that nature. But when they came and asked about me, I guess that's when I knew there's a chance that I can go pro. I'm getting scouted to go pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the goal was always to go pro. I've been working at that since I was a kid.
Okay. And you played all 4 years at Rice. You were the team captain senior year, and you were named to All Conference USA. And I love this part. You were a semifinalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy, and that's awarded to the top college football player with the best combination of academics, leadership, and on-field performance. It's often considered to be the academic Heisman, which I love. How was it great to be nominated for that?
Yeah, you did your research. First of all, that was an honor because when I got presented it, I knew a little bit about it, but it obviously made me go back and do a little more research. And man, I was honored because I chose to go to Rice for a specific reason because it's a very prestigious school.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she works for a pretty renowned company based out in Boston, and she told me that her job recruits very heavily from Rice. So I chose that for a reason. So I definitely say. Yeah, I definitely say that.
And what was the transition like from college to the NFL? In 2020, you went undrafted, but talk about that call you got from the Panthers.
It was crazy because it was right after the draft had ended. And I ain't gonna lie, I was hurt.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty hurt, I ain't gonna lie. But
you still made it. You're good.
Yeah, I had got a call, and it's crazy because one of my former defensive line coaches at Rice, he had went on to Baylor, and he was going on to the Matt Rule staff that was going to be in Carolina that year. So
Mm-hmm.
he was actually the one that was, given the blessing to give me that call, and he told me that they were going to end up signing me undrafted. It was about 30 minutes after the draft ended. So I didn't have to wait too long.
Oh, wow. You didn't have to wait too long. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have to wait too long.
I feel like Shedeur Sanders had to wait even a little bit longer, even. He didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure felt like it. What has your journey? First of all, let's talk about your NFL debut. I know you were on practice squads with the Panthers and also the Seahawks, right? But then the Seahawks elevated you in Week 15 against the LA Rams. What was stepping on that field like? Give me that moment.
It didn't feel super crazy, but I knew it was different because we had the preseason, and now this was a regular season game. And we were in SoFi, the lights were bright, about to go in, play Matt Stafford in those Rams, and I was like, man, I'm here. Like, I'm here.
And
yeah.
SoFi, the energy, I was just in SoFi last week. Like, the energy is it's a brand new stadium. It's gorgeous. It's energy, it's big, it's loud. That moment.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with SoFi. No. Yeah, I've never had an issue with SoFi. And I really appreciate that opportunity. I had some kind words spoken from my DC at the time, Ken Norton. And I mean, that opportunity just helped me keep competing for a spot, and I eventually made the roster that following season.
Awesome. What's been your favorite moment on the field within the 3 organizations that you've played with?
That's a tough question. Favorite moment?
Yeah.
Honestly, and this is a recent one. My favorite moment is probably when we beat Minnesota last year to clinch #1.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was a great feeling.
Yeah.
To be able to be a #1 seed in the NFL, not a lot of people can say that they've achieved that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that was a great feeling.
And I think you guys would have gone farther if I had you guys winning Super Bowl, to be honest. So
I'm glad you think so. I did too.
Yeah,
You know?
I did. I think injury just plagued you guys. I think injuries just plagued you guys last year, and you just couldn't, rebound from it. But
Absolutely.
this year is a completely different story.
Yeah.
Speaking of this year, you are now in the thick of it with the Lions. You got a huge game coming up on Monday Night Football, bright lights. We were just talking about them, big stage. What challenges do the Ravens present?
Well, the Ravens are a tough team. I think everybody knows that. They got a guy quarterback, and they got a guy running back, and they got a pretty good defense. And they got some great players, and they're pretty well coached. So we're gonna have our hands full, and we're gonna be playing in Baltimore as well. We're going to that place, but approach the week like we approach every other week. It's another opponent on the schedule, and we got to get the win. We know they're gonna run the ball 35, 40 times a game. They're gonna try to make sure they establish their run game, but we got to knock that out and get after Lamar when we can.
Absolutely.
I know that's gonna be philosophy on defense.
I was gonna say what's your philosophy? What's your strategy? Like, how much tape have you watched on Lamar? How much tape have you watched on Henry?
Yeah, you start watching tape throughout the week. Everybody has their own plan of how they watch film, but I've been watching a lot of the first and second down runs, preparing for our practice tomorrow. I know that's what we're gonna be focusing on. Move on through our preparation throughout the week. You got to watch. Film is essential. You got to watch film every week.
Yeah. That's what I think people don't realize too, is like being a football player, it's an office job, and then it's also, athletic too. Then you're out on the field too. So I think it's a mixture of both.
Absolutely.
Take me through a week of practice.
Week of practice, yeah. So tomorrow's going to be the start of our real work week. We start the day off with our first and second down emphasis, and then next day we'll lead into, more of the third down, red zone, stuff like that. Fridays, the short yardage. You kind of want to work on all the different situations you can face, sharpen that sword. And as you approach closer to game day, we're playing on Monday, but typically you play on a Sunday. That Saturday before, you get all your ducks in order, make sure everything's well oiled, and, get a good walk through and get ready for the game. Yeah.
And what are your personal goals for Monday?
Personal goals. I am trying to personally play extremely well in the run game, because I truly believe, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. That's something we talk about a lot. So if you're not stopping the run, they're not going to stop running the ball. So they got Derrick Henry back there, so we got to make sure we stop the run. And once we're able to rush that passer, we know who we're dealing with back there. He can scramble well, get him on the ground, and then get the ball back to our offense. JG had 5 touchdowns last week. I think we can. Right. I'm confident in that. Confident in our offense.
And we have a question from our audience. What did your team deal with so many coaching turnovers?
The coaching turnovers, talking about with the new team gelling together.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dan lost both his coordinators. I came in, I knew AG for a short period of time, loved him. Great coach, great guy. I didn't get to talk to Ben, as much, obviously playing on defense, but he's a cool guy as well. And they were obviously, setting themselves up and choosing what's best for their family. So the gelling process, you kind of just gotta roll with the punches. And it's not even said that we've been getting punched. I think we've been right where we need to be each step of the way throughout the workouts in the spring, through OTAs, mini camp, training camp, had a really good camp. And sitting at 1-1 and got a good opportunity in front of us. I think we're gelling pretty well. Yeah.
And I think you guys will get more used to each other as the season goes on, and as the season progresses, you guys will be able to, kind of read each other's minds at that point. Real quick, wanted to ask you, obviously your life is football right now, but you also are human. What do you like to do off the field? Do you have any passions?
Passions. I am really passionate about, like I talked about before, paying it forward. So a lot of things that I do, I try to focus on, helping out people less fortunate, or providing resources to kids that look like me. I like to work with youth around the sectors of, health and wellness, mentorship, teaching them financial literacy, little things like that, partnering with nonprofits and organizations that help out with things like that. I'm a TV guy.
Okay.
Actually, I'm recently an anime guy as of the pandemic.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm recently an anime guy.
All
Just
right.
watched the new Demon Slayer movie that just dropped. You should check it out if you haven't.
Okay, I have not.
Yeah.
I have to put
Okay.
that on the to watch list.
Definitely. Not an anime person, I can give you a list of recommendations. But
I'll share them with our audience.
Yeah, but no,
These are Miles Adams to watch.
Yeah, poll the audience. Yeah, poll the audience. Let's talk about it. But
What was that?
Yeah, we can poll the audience. But I also play the piano, self-taught, but I don't have it out there right now. Yeah, I was in choir in high school. Yeah, I was in choir in high school, so I taught myself how to play the different chords, warming the voice up, going down the minors and the minor scale, stuff like that. So
Maybe you and Jordan Mailata from the Eagles could do something together. He's a professional singer as well.
I was about to say, yeah, I saw him do the Christmas special. Was that 2 seasons ago?
It's and he did the Masked Singer. You should look into the Masked Singer.
He did?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I can actually help you do that if you want to do that. I know a few people, to be honest.
Ooh, I gotta get that in my bag if I'm gonna be singing on the stage like that.
No, I love that.
Maybe so.
Self-taught piano, that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm. But it's fun. I just kind of would look up a song on YouTube, and I taught myself the unorthodox way. I'm learning now how to read the sheet music on the piano, but I would just teach myself and learn how to play a specific song. So I have a couple songs in my arsenal that are my go-tos. Does
that help relax you? Like, do you come home from practice and play? I feel like it relaxes some people.
Absolutely. It's more so during my off season in my house back in Texas. That's where I'm from. But I'm a big music guy. I'm usually always listening to some type of genre in music. I'm big on playlists. So I'll just click one of my playlists and put it on shuffle and just jam out. And
I have to follow up with that. What's your playlist?
Oh man, what's my playlist? You got to be more specific. I got a full playlist.
What's your top three songs on your playlist?
Ooh, which playlist though?
Give me your favorite one. I don't know.
Okay. Top 3 songs on my playlist right now. Probably as of right now, I've been listening to "Let Me Prove My Love to You" by The Main Ingredient. That's been pretty heavy. It's a popular song that was sampled. I've been listening to a lot of what's his name, Leon Thomas. That album he had dropped. Vibes on Lives been in my rotation pretty frequently. And earlier today, I was listening to some Music Soul Child. I'm more on the R&B side, yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Miles. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today on the Blonde Blitz. Good luck on Monday. We'll all be watching. I love watching my friends that I interview on the show, and seeing them on the field. And it makes it more exciting, when you have friends out there. I'm always rooting for you.
Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
All right.
See you soon. All right, guys, now it's time for a little week too funny with Blonde Blitz newcomer Jacqueline Marfugi. Jacqueline, where you at?
Okay, I got one for you. What did the wide receiver say to the football? Catch you later. Yeah, my jokes suck. That's why I watch the Blonde Blitz.
Jacqueline!
Hi, oh my gosh.
How are you?
Ciao, ciao, Deb.
Hello. I'm like, hello, Carla.
Oh, grazie mille. I am so good. I feel like you and Miles were what they call Travis and Taylor, just walking exclamation points. Like you guys are just such good energy.
Oh my God, that's the best compliment I've gotten all week. Thank you so much.
No, I love that.
So, Jacqueline, let's talk a little bit about the Giants. I hear you have some funny stuff going on with them.
I know. I feel like that must have been really hard for you as a Philadelphia Eagles fan to even ask about the Giants. I really appreciate that. I feel like we've been through a lot. We both grew up on the East Coast, and I do have a lot of Eagles fans that I love. I'm terrified of you all. I am.
Not that bad.
I've seen some uncles like smash Heineken bottles in the parking lot at Eagle Stadium over a parking spot.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
I've seen that too. Yes. A little scary.
Yeah. It's fine. I'm a scrappy Jersey girl. So
am I, girl.
Yes. No. So all I'm going to say about the Eagles is you're good. You're good. And that was a lot for me.
I appreciate that.
No, all the love. Yeah, I'm so excited to talk Giants today because I feel like the best game for me to talk about happened this Sunday against the Cowboys. Woo! Woo! I do have to give you a little bit of a background though, as a New York Giants fan. I grew up, like it's in my blood, it's in my birthright. And I feel like I know enough about football. Like I had a podcast called What's Your Jersey Podcast, and I would do segments called What's the Tip? I don't know everything. So if I'm getting names wrong, not my fault. I know just enough. But yeah, I grew up going to Giants games, but it was in like the late 80s, early 90s. So I really had to work for my games. We would park at the Sheridan, which is like a highway away. And we park
I park at the Marriott at the Link. So I feel this. We're vibing. I feel this.
Love it. Just a good chain hotel really brings out the game day spirit. Yeah. And I would say, like, if I wanted to like hang out with my dad, my brother, my uncles, like I would be like, yeah, I love football. I have to go. No, I was a pick me girl before I realized that was a thing apparently. When I was like 6. So yeah, we'd sit, we'd eat chicken cutlet sandwiches in the Sheridan parking lot. And then we'd play like Russian roulette with our lives. We'd run across like 10 lanes of highway, climb a mountain that was probably covered in ice and snow, and then run across a bridge and sit in that cement box MetLife Stadium and yeah, watch the New York Giants. So I've been through it and I'm still here.
Yeah. I have to say, one thing about Giants fans is they're legit and they are very passionate and they don't give up. After the last couple seasons you guys have had, it's rough. We went through it in Philly too. Don't get it twisted. We did. But
yeah. I have a whole theory about the Giants. Do you want me to get into that before I get into the Cowboys Giants of it all?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I feel like you touched on it. Yeah, we've been through a lot. I feel like the New York Giants are kind of like the pretty girl in high school that peaked too early. I feel like, like so high school, like not to reference Travis and Taylor again. But yeah, I feel like our high school years were amazing. That was like the Tom Coughlin era. That was Eli. That was when we were beating Tom Brady. We were hot. Like we were the best and we peaked too soon. And then I don't know, like later in the 2000s, we went to college. We were kind of like Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell, who went to college and just wasn't cool anymore. That was us. And it was really tough. It was really humbling. We're getting through it though. I feel like we're on the tail end of that. As the hot high school girl, we dated some weirdos in college. Like I feel like we even ended our college career with Tommy DeVito. He was like the Pete Davidson,
which you mentioned eating chicken cutlets earlier, so that makes sense that happened, right?
Tommy DeVito is the closest thing to a mascot the New York Giants have had. Like I am very sad to see him go. And now even like we ended our like college era, and now I feel like we're in our like new career woman era. We're back in the real world. We were getting over a breakup with Saquon Barkley. That was a lot for us. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that was all of last year. We were just mourning the loss of Saquon. Like he's like an ex-boyfriend who all of a sudden started dating Sydney Sweeney. And we're like, what? You're happy? Like, that's exactly what Taekwon is to us. And we just want him back. And he's like, I'm good.
Yeah. He's good with the Eagles. We're good.
Yeah. But then, like, we're all of a sudden, like, the New York Giants were dating Russell Wilson. Like, I feel like he's like a safe bet, you know? Like, I feel like he's like, we're on our way up. We're building our career again. And I don't think there's a ring in our future this year, but I feel like we can put a ring on it for us maybe in 2028. I feel like that would be
maybe Jackson Dart will put a ring on it.
Ooh. I love that for us. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like the New York Giants, they just gotta get good again. And I was excited at this game because as a Jersey girl, I did marry a Jersey boy. He literally, his house was in the shadow of MetLife Stadium. That's how close it was.
Oh wow.
That. And
I didn't know there were houses around MetLife Stadium. Okay.
No. Okay, fine. He grew up in Sopranos country. Like, that's where New York Giants fans are born and bred. And he, for some reason, is a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's insane. Like, I almost left him at the altar because I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like,
oh my God.
Like, you're a Cowboys fan. I mean, I did grow up loving Deion Sanders for his end zone dances, so I will give the Cowboys that. And I feel like they've had a redemption from the America's Sweetheart series. Like, we definitely want to do that.
I said the same thing too. I was like, last season, I was like, love the cheerleaders. The team sucks.
Exactly. The worst. Yeah, they're so lucky to have those girls. You know, and like watching this game, I don't think I felt so alive. Like when Russell Wilson threw that pass to Malik Neighbors, I've never felt that alive. It's probably been over a decade since the Eli Manning, David Tyree helmet catch. Like that was amazing. But I went into this game with a different like game plan attitude, which I want to tell you guys to do. If you are the underdogs, you won't get this down because you're like Eagles. You guys are winning. You're doing everything right now.
The old Deb will get it. Yeah.
The old Deb will get it. Where I just was playing hard to get. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to watch the game at home with you. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm just going to like go take a class. So I like watched a little bit on my phone for the first half. Like normally I talk a big game. I'm like in his face. And I was just like, nope. Came home. We watched in separate rooms. It was great. And like the more I acted like I didn't care, the better we did. Like it was.
There we go.
Incredible. It was so good. And I'm not going to lie. Like being married to a Dallas Cowboys fan is kind of like being married to a guy who won like prom king in 1996. And that's like the best thing he ever did. Like that's all they talk about. You know?
I dated a Dallas guy once and I refused to touch anything in his house that had Dallas, and his bedspread was Dallas, and I refused to get in the bed.
No, immediate jail.
We didn't last, so it was fine.
No, not good. We don't like that. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know why the Dallas Cowboys, they just talk like such a big game. I mean, I'll throw like a dig in there. You know, like, oh, if you want to go watch you guys win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to go to your mom's attic and like get a VHS tape back because that's how long ago it was. Like, it's a lot. And so I basically like the end of that game though, I felt like I was Jennifer Garner in 13 going on 30. Like it was all a dream. Like we were so close.
We're so close. I thought you guys had it.
And then we just like woke up in our parents' basement again. And we're just like, wow, we're really back here.
Next week is always next week.
Yeah, against the Chiefs. I bet it's gonna go really well for us.
Well, the Chiefs are 0-2. Patrick Mahomes is now 0-2 for the first time in his NFL career, so you never know.
I know. And I feel like I've been seeing people like kind of talk some smack about Travis, like, oh, he only cares about getting engaged. I'm like, leave the guy alone.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a lot. Like, I don't know. Even as a Giants fan at that end of that game, like, I felt like Taylor Swift at the VMAs. Like, I felt like we just won an award. We were, like, so close. And all of a sudden, like, Brandon Aubrey just just made that like kick, and it felt like Kanye was just like ripping the award away from us.
Oh my God. Completely. All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much for coming. This was so much fun. Where can our audience find you?
Yes, you can find me at Jacqueline Marfuji on Instagram, at the Jacqueline Marfuji on TikTok. I'm touring for comedy, and I post all my dates on social media. I'm going to be in Chicago, New York, New Jersey. Holy Cannoli Comedy is going to be at the New York Comedy Festival, November 15th. Come see us, NYC, and go Giants.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you can see her here too. She'll be on a lot more this season. So we'll see you soon.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye. All right, next, guys, HGTV designer to the athletes, Shay Holland is here to talk about players opening restaurants and give you a recipe for a winning watch party spread.
When I need the latest in style and entertainment, I tune into the Blonde Blitz.
Hi, Shay.
Hello.
Well, look, it's so good to see you.
It's great to see you. Now I'm hungry.
I know, right? I'm hungry too. Well, let's talk a little bit about restaurants. Travis Kelce, and speaking of Travis Kelce, Jacqueline was just talking about him, and Patrick Mahomes are the latest NFL stars to join a long list of players and retired players turning into their passion for food into restaurant empires, right? Aaron Rodgers has done it. John Elway's done it. Emmitt Smith has done it. What can we learn from their restaurants to create the perfect game day viewing party at home?
You know, there is so much. And if you look at that video, that was the opening of Travis and Patrick's restaurant that just opened today. And it feels really like a private club. I felt like, you know, they don't have big screen TVs, but this is still the ultimate, almost like the ultimate man cave. In fact, when you walk in, they have it designed so you feel like you're doing the tunnel walk. In fact, it's called a tunnel walk inspired design. So they have set a whole new standard based on football that doesn't necessarily involve the team colors. And that's what I love about this design, is that like sometimes when you know, if your team is colors don't fit into your aesthetic, but you still want a football feel, this restaurant in particular shows you how to do it. They used, you know, a lot of the warm browns that are reminiscent of, say, the football itself. They used some green in the furniture seating, which is reminiscent of the turf. In fact, that's what they looked at. They looked at the field instead of doing this in red and white, because like that probably would really give you maybe McDonald's kind of vibe.
Right. Yeah. A little, even though it's Kansas City colors, still kind of tacky.
Yeah, so they didn't go with their Kansas City colors. They didn't have the jerseys on the wall, that kind of thing. They didn't want it to feel like a sports bar. They wanted it to feel like an elevated experience. And a lot of times, you know, if you're going to do your watch party at home, that's kind of, you know, maybe, I don't know if this is more a woman thing, but, you know, that's what I want, is a feeling that's a little bit more
chic.
Yeah, more chic, more intimate. I don't want to feel like I'm at a frat party and somebody's going to throw a beer on me. And so that's
football plates and stuff a little too much, I feel like. Maybe for Super Bowl, but for like a regular watch party, definitely more chic, more, you know, adult.
Yeah, a little more adult, exactly. Yeah, and just another thing that I loved about this was just all the small touches that they did that personalized it. They have, for example, this martini cart that walks around, somebody making martinis at the table. They have signature drinks, you know, that are reminiscent of, you know, Taylor Swift, of course, has one that it lights on fire around the bottom, and just all these, you know, just really different, unusual, fun touches. They have a cheeseburger named after Coach Reed, called the Big Red, and he apparently had some. So they named things. So that was another way to bring in.
I wonder if he taste tested it. He had to have taste tested it, right?
He input into what he wanted on it. He wanted I think it's made with Gouda cheese.
That would make sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Coach Reed, I heard, is a little bit of a foodie.
Yes, I know. I'm like, Gouda, what happened? That's not very Midwestern. And so they did all of these amazing touches that, again, hearken to, like, their menu even is named after things like they named the different parts of it based on football. Like, I think it's the drinks that are called the Kingdom. And then, so just things like that. So all of those touches that speak about football, but you don't necessarily have all these big screen TVs going on and all these, kind of tchotchke things. So that's some of the lessons I think that we can take for sure from what they did. Now, the food, that's a whole nother thing. And the prices are actually kind of ridiculous. So you might want to feed your guests something a little bit more in line. Like, they have a 40-ounce ribeye for over $100. I think that's like a 2.5 pound steak.
That's a good steak though for that. I mean, that price, that kind of makes sense. Well, and as you're talking, I'm reminiscing about Cam Newton's. He's got a restaurant, and it's a cigar bar called Fellowship. I went there several times when I lived in Atlanta. Very chic, VIP upstairs. You had to get, it was very woods, and like, not woods, but it was very chic. Like, it was a very, very nice cigar bar. Why do you think these restaurants are so popular with NFL athletes?
Well, I think it's a great chance for the fans to feel closer to the athletes themselves. They may even get a glimpse of them at the restaurant. I know when I was growing up, my dad loved the Bears, and Ditka's was not too horribly far. And so there was always this chance that you might run into somebody, and oftentimes you did. And, and so I think that you're going to see a lot of the players will be regulars at this restaurant. And it does have private dining as well. So oftentimes I'm sure Patrick and Travis and their girlfriends, or, well, fiance now, are going right in the those private areas that have private entrances, so they can actually enjoy themselves and not get swamped by all the fans. But I think it's really a combination of the fans and some of the players that have said why they opened restaurants is that they get exposed to all this great food when they're traveling, when they're staying at hotels. Like, this one is in a Lowe's hotel, which has great food. We have a Lowe's here in California. So I think it's just that they're exposed to it, but then also because diet is so important to them and the types of food. So it's not surprising that these are oftentimes tend to be heavy on the meat. And
you get out there and play.
There'll be a lot of those, linebackers are going to be eating that 40-ounce steak.
Yeah, absolutely.
And happy birthday to Patrick too, because it's actually his birthday for the opening day.
Oh, that's fun. Open your restaurant on your birthday. I love that
30
idea.
years old. Yeah, just a babe still.
So what are some ideas that people at home can take from these restaurants and bring them into their own watch party?
I think I love the idea of doing a signature drink that maybe you name after somebody that was important, maybe a coach or a couple of signature drinks. They actually this is called 1587 Prime for Patrick and Travis's numbers. So you could even send out invitations with, say, numbers of your family. Like in my family, the number 45, you'll see it often because that was our dad's football jersey number. And so, there's just subtle ways that you can do that. I love the idea of bringing in maybe some signature dishes that you serve every single party. If you find that, like at my family, it's mac and cheese. I know they have mac and cheese on the menu in Kansas City at the 1587 restaurant. So if you have some signature dishes too, that people are constantly going to want. It just makes it much more personalized. And that was the feeling that a lot of these players want in their restaurants, is something that feels like the community can gather and have a really good time. You know what to expect, and you know that it's going to be high quality. So I think those are some of the great ideas. One thing I noticed in this restaurant in particular that you may have seen was also the incredible lighting. The lighting sets this very moody, almost sexy atmosphere. So I don't know if you want your watch party to feel sexy, but your lighting.
I want to feel sexy all the time. So
exactly. Your lighting is going to be the way to do that. And so they have tiers of lighting in this restaurant that just set off this incredible ambiance that makes people want to stay, that makes them feel relaxed. And you can do that through the lighting and the colors that you choose. Again, they didn't choose red, which is a very vibrant color. In fact, when we have color theory and design, and if you use those oranges and reds, it makes people actually want to leave the place faster because their energy levels get up. Whereas they went with Yeah, so that's why they did calming colors and didn't want to go with red. They do want people to relax here. They have live entertainment every night, for example. They have a singer that roams around the restaurant here. So paying attention to all those kind of details, maybe doing a little study of colors, making sure that you bring in some of the more moody neutrals instead of the vibrant colors if you want your friends to kind of just feel like they're in that, you know, cocoon envelopment and where they want to stay for a while, where they want to hang out, where they can really let their hair down and relax. And it's not surprising that players would want that. You know, their jobs are so intense. So of course, you know, having a place where they can feel like they can, you know, just really be laid back. Even though it's kind of an elevated atmosphere, there's no dress code or anything like that. And so, you know, when you see them doing the tastings, they're oftentimes, you know, fairly casual. You don't have to put on a suit.
Right. And by the way, Snowman just suggested the Merino Martini.
Oh, okay. You know, well, yes, with a martini cart. I mean, that's a genius. I thought. I love that idea. You know, it just goes around and you order it. Yeah.
I was at a wedding one time when they had a martini bar. I was like, if I ever get married, I'm having a martini bar. Like,
I'm not a huge martini, but I would definitely love to go. I would try. They have a drink for Taylor Swift. It's called The Alchemy, which is after one of her albums. And that one is supposedly, it's got some citrusy and things like that. So there's a drink named after her, one after Britney that's called the Queen Bee. So Britney gets to be the Queen Bee. Yep. Travis's drink is called Showtime, which is a Coors beer, which is a Midwestern beer, and I mixed with rum, which does not sound good, but people that tried it, they said they would never have known it was a beer. So, and then the Big Yeti, which is Travis's drink, and that's a bourbon. So you get these, you know, very specialized cocktails that were made just for them too. And I think that's just another great, you know, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but a great way to add those signature details to your watch party. And that's what's going to make people remember it. That's what's going to make your watch party stand out is all your signature details.
Right. And speaking of cocktails too, Chef V actually has a recipe for a healthy cocktail to make, you know, a perfect game day. So we will go to her in a second. But Shay, where can our audience find you?
I am at Shay Holland Official, and that's usually where I will be posting things.
Awesome. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Happy game day. All right, guys, when you have food, of course, you need cocktails. Here's Chef V with the perfect one.
I used to make peanut butter and jelly for football. Then I watched the Blonde Blitz, and now my game day food is on a whole new level.
Hi, Deb. What's up, everybody? My name is Virginia Sunshine, and I am a professional holistic private chef specializing in clean cuisine, which I lovingly dubbed culinary healthcare. I am here to help us swap out for the snacks that keep you snatched. Yes, even on game day. So here we go. First things first, I want to talk about BYO. Look, I'm a tequila girl, and it is one of the cleaner cocktails that you can have. So here is my swap. I'm gonna make a little cocktail, and of course we had to rim the glass with pink salt. If you have a tendency to overindulge, just BYOB. That way you know exactly how many cocktails you have. And my other trick is add a little hydration packet. This is just some electrolytes that go quite yummily with this tequila drink. And of course, instead of any sort of mixer or soda, I gotta go with the grapefruit pink Spindrift. Et voila, a little lime garnish. Look, if you want to stay in control, just bring what you know you're gonna drink so you don't make terrible decisions in the middle of halftime. Cheers, everybody. Delicious. It's like ranch water, but elevated. So, cheers, y'all. Happy game day. Happy football season. Let's go Blonde Blitz.
All right, guys, let's get into the games, shall we? Please welcome third-generation sports betting expert Alex White to give us your best bet for week number 3.
It's time to get some NFL betting advice from Alex White and the Blonde Blitz. Win big so I can rob you later.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Time for another best bet here on the Blonde Blitz. If you tailed my Tampa Bay Bucks, it was a little sweaty, but we ended up getting there in the end. Here we go, week 3. Sportsbook director Chris Andrews, he talks about this all the time here at the South Point. You want to fade teams that go from being a home underdog and then the next week they're a road favorite. The Colts are one of these teams. So they were dogs to Denver, and then after that win, they opened up as a 3-point favorite on the road against the Tennessee Titans. Well, you don't want to bet it yet because the public is all over the Colts. They're 2-0. They look fantastic to start the season, and people want to fade Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. So that number is going to keep moving up. It's already hit 4. We want to bet it at its peak. I like 4 right now, but if we can get more, we're going to wait it out. Cam Ward was put in a brutal spot, right? He's already faced 2 teams that were playoff teams a year ago. The Denver Broncos, one of the best defenses in the league, and then the Los Angeles Rams, one of the best offenses. So I think we get a pretty good performance here. Backs against the wall, 0-2, division game. Give me the points here with the Titans and the young quarterback. I'm excited for this one and to see if the Colts are the real deal. But regardless, I do think the Titans can keep this close and it could be a field goal game. So we're taking the points with Tennessee. Deb, as always, thanks for having me. I'll see you again next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Alex. Love having you here. And of course, we cannot talk sports betting without talking fantasy, right? Here is fantasy expert Ballers Meg with her advice for week 3.
When I'm looking for fantasy advice, I listen to Meg from TSS Fantasy.
Hi guys, Ballers Meg coming at you with this week's Blonde Blitz fantasy section. I'm going to give you some recommendations for players that you can pick up for your teams, for your daily fantasy, ones that are going to get you the most points this week, week 3 of our NFL season. I'm starting off in Tampa Bay with Emeka Egbuka. That rookie is having a phenomenal season so far. They face the Jets this week. Now, the Jets have not been a strong team, and Emeka Egbuka has shown time and time again over the last 2 weeks that he is absolutely a key target for Baker Mayfield. He is getting the yards up, he's putting the points up consistently, and his accuracy and his read on where the ball is going to be and how he needs to position himself is absolutely phenomenal. So if you can pick up Emeka Egbuka, absolutely do so. Next up, we have Nico Collins over at the Houston Texans. Now, they're facing the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, a team that's already proven a little bit better than what we expected they would, but still not a strong team. Now, the Houston Texans put on a strong show in Monday Night Football last week, and they have been consistently putting up high yardage. They are putting the points on the board in a phenomenal way. CJ Stroud has remembered how to pass the ball accurately. He is putting those yards for those players. Nico Collins is a key target over at the Texans, and I'm really, really excited to see what he can do this week. My final pick is another homer pick from me, and I know that you guys are probably sick of that already, but Tyler Algier has been unreal. Nobody expected Tyler Algier to be the guy who's getting those points for Atlanta. But with an improved defence and heading up to the Carolina Panthers this weekend, we are absolutely all over that. It is sure to be a showdown. It's a divisional game, but Tyler Algier absolutely is a key target for Michael Penix Jr. And the yards that he's already got in the last few weeks has been unbelievable. That game of football last weekend showed us what he can do. So those are my 3 recommendations for this week for your fantasy teams. Be sure to drop me a follow at ballers_meg on all the social media platforms for more hints, tips, and fantasy advice.
All right, thanks so much, Meg. Intuitive Reader 333 asks Carrie is using her Power Deck cards to predict the Bucks versus Jets game this week. Carrie, what do you got for us?
Let's see what the Power Deck cards say about these NFL team futures.
333 Ask Carrie here, delivering the power deck. That's right, on the Blonde Blitz. And I'm going to be doing week 3 predictions for the New York Jets versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So right straight away, guys, we are in between 2 major eclipses, the lunar eclipse in Pisces and also the solar eclipse in Virgo. So what does that mean? Dun, dun, dun. Is something going to go crazy? Actually, there's like a little bit of a lull. It's almost like there's a thick fog covering everybody, especially mutable signs being Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, and of course, Gemini. So there's no doubt that there's going to be some intensity with this, but a low energy type of a vibe. And so this is exactly what Justin Fields, who is a Pisces, has been experiencing. And that's why he's coming off of a week 2 loss, along with Breece Hall, who is also a Gemini mutable sign. So they are highly affected by these lunar eclipse phases. And what that means is that they're coming off of a closure period. They're trying to put the past in the past and really start delivering on some, new probably plays and ways of looking and identifying themselves and how their role is into their particular team. So the defense also hasn't been delivering, so overall, not so bueno. But the cards that I pulled were a Jack of Diamonds, a 3 of Spades, and also the 3 of Pentacles, which altogether equals 16, so that is what I am feeling. But the 3 of Spades there, guys, not my best card. It's been pulled before, and it is my heartbreak card. So I just feel like, they're not going to be the winners this particular week. But let's roll in and talk about what the Tampa Bay Bucks have done and what they are going to possibly be doing. I feel that, first of all, amazing week 2 for them, because Baker Mayfield, who is a fire sign, really showed up and had a very warrior-like spirit, along with also another fellow water sign rookie, Bucky Irving, and also Mike Evans. All 3 of those folks just have a lot of heat to them, and they're very passionate about delivering a on-point performance, especially with Mayfield's last week 80-yard drive, along with Rashad White's 2-yard run that just was like it sealed the deal for them against the Texans, and congratulations to them on that. They are also leading the NFC South with the 2-0 record, which is no doubt why they have the Ace of Diamonds, and then they have the 10 of Clubs, which is a money-making card. It's the best money-making card in the deck. And then they have the King of Hearts, who is their head coach, Todd Boyles, because Todd Boyles is a Scorpio, and that is a water sign, which is represented by the heart. So the King of Water signs, good job, Coach Boyles, and look forward to seeing what the actual score will be. And that's New York Jets 16 versus Tampa Bay 27. Back to you, Deb.
Thanks so much, Carrie. All right, guys, Ben Troupe has got the evening off, but Commissioner Cooper from TSS Fantasy is here. He's been patiently waiting backstage to help me with week 3 game picks.
Bring in Deb and Troupe so we can get our NFL picks.
Hey, Jason, I've never seen those little pop-up girl. There was a little blonde chick who just popped up there. That's the first time I've seen her. You just put that in. Up, you're on mute.
I'm muted. Yeah, I'm like, here we go. Yeah, it was a little added little thing I wanted to throw in there. Just we had a little bit extra time, so I figured.
Hey, why not? Just throw in more blonde. All right, Commissioner Cooper. Dolphins versus Bills, Thursday night football. What you got and why?
So what's funny is that first and foremost, when you asked me to do the picks, I was like, of course, absolutely. But then you throw in this game, the one I just didn't want to even talk about, for America's team, the Miami Dolphins, who has turned into America's fart. I just want to show you something really quick, and a quick plug to Jay the Plug. Go find him on Instagram. He does all the cause for cleats for the NFL athletes during that time. So he was, he puts out a lot of stuff on Instagram. So I asked him to make me some shoes. So I wanted to show you the shoes that he made me. I mean, Look how nice these are. I mean, how nice could this?
I need to call him and make me some
Yeah.
Eagles. Although about what I'm about to say today with the Eagles-Rams game, I might not be no longer be an Eagles fan because I might be dead. But continue.
Yeah, so the reason they look so clean is because I put them on, as you know, I was up in Philly for the NFL home opener with my spouse, and of course I throw on the shoes on Sunday because I'm all excited, like, oh, it's football, and then of course Miami gets trounced on, so they haven't been put on since, and I don't think I'll wait till next year. But I'll just say this: the Bills will win this football game, sadly. But I will say, I think the line, as far as the betting line is concerned, is the biggest I've seen so far this year. Last time I saw it was like at 11.5. It may be even bigger at this point.
It's at 12.5 now.
It's at 12.5, exactly. So there's two trains of thought to that. A, that the Bills own Miami. I mean, let's face it, but they really do own us in Miami. In Buffalo, we actually play pretty decently. So I would just say, yes, Bills will win, but if I'm a betting person, I'm taking Miami with the points because I think Miami will, I think someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Alex, said backs against the wall for the Titans. Well, the backs are definitely against the wall for the Dolphins. Mike McDaniels, the back might be on the ground at this point. So yeah. I think they'll come out with some fire and play well. I just don't see them pulling it off. So
and
there we go.
Did you hear his press conference? Like, something is off. I was like, this is ahead. I was like, my boyfriend was playing it, and I was like, who is that? And he's like, it's Mike McDaniels. I was like, wait, what? And he didn't even sound like a head coach. Like, it was a little crazy.
Well, he never really sounds like a head coach, and I think that's where this is kind of worn on the team, where I think we're just at a point. It's all fun and well when you're winning, and it's fun to have that guy. But when you're losing, all those little tee-hee jokes and sarcasm aren't funny anymore. Yeah. So I think that's kind of worn down on this team. And, quite frankly, if I'm just being honest, I think he's got a little bit of depression, I guess, if you will, or some kind of personality disorder, because he's always been very quirky and a lot with the sarcasm. But, now it's just, like I said, to the point where when you're losing, it's not funny anymore.
Right. Well, as far as the Dolphins-Bills, for me, the all-time record between these two teams, 62-61 in the Dolphins' favor, which is a little crazy. Bills quarterback Josh Allen, he's done some of his best work against the Dolphins. He has 13 wins in 15 career games, including the playoffs, and he currently has a 6-game win streak going against Miami. Last year, the Bills won both games against Miami, 31-10 and 30-27. Like you already talked about, the spread, they're 12.5 favorites to win this. I think they're going to win it. Let's move on to Rams versus Eagles. I'm literally scared. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. What do you got and why? I could probably guess this, but go ahead.
Just another quick point, that 30-27, again, last year in Buffalo. So just to throw that out there again.
Yeah.
I like the Eagles again. I mean, the Rams, I know you cover the Rams and stuff in the off season and stuff. So, I get it. And they're a good football team. Good. I picked them earlier this year to win the division because I believe in what they have. They have a good all around football team where they can run the ball, they can pass the ball, and they have a good defense. So they're good all the way around. But this is the Super Bowl champs in the house. We're not in the comfort of the dome. We're outside. I think just all of that benefits the Eagles in the matchup. And when I mentioned the Rams running game, Kyron Williams kind of getting down there a little bit. They've used Blake Corum a little bit more. So I would suspect, especially with Jalen Carter back in, as long as he doesn't do anything silly before the game starts, I would expect a big game from this Eagles defense. It'll be a low.
And Carter did save that game, the snowball. They were going for that touchdown there, and he sacked Stafford and ended the game basically. So yeah,
100%. So I like the way that this stacked up for the Eagles, especially at home. If it's in LA, I might be a little wary. My wife's not here, so she can't even hear me right now. So I would maybe pick the Rams. No, but I would definitely go Eagles. I think it'll be more of a defensive game, but I do like Philly to win the game.
All right. So I'm extremely I don't even know the word for what I am at the moment. I'm conflicted, I guess. So I bleed green, obviously, but I cover the Rams. I'm literally going to be there all day on Friday in the locker room, interviewing all of the guys on the practice field. So this game is really hard for me to predict. The Eagles are 24-21 all time against the Rams. They have won 8 of the last 10 matchups. Obviously, the last matchup was the divisional round. Just talked about it, that Snow Bowl. I was there, and yeah, the Rams are coming after the Eagles. To be honest, they want payback. I actually interviewed Jared Verse during the offseason, and he actually particularly mentioned game number 3. He was like, I feel like the whole season's on game number 3. And I was like, oh, that's the Eagles. So we'll see. The Rams have definitely beefed up their defense. They brought on Nate Landman, who's done some great things already. Poona Ford, also a beast. And I think they will limit Philadelphia's run. Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley is going to get covered. I don't know. This is really, really hard, but I'm going to pick. So I feel like the Eagles are just not playing up to par. To be completely honest, I feel like I think the defense is clicking. I don't think the offense is. I think something is off. I think the Eagles will have to play with every ounce of talent that they have to beat the Rams, even though it is at the Link. It's going to be a tight score. I think it's going to come down to like 1 point or 3 points or a field goal in the last seconds of the game. But I feel like the Rams are going to upset. And I hate saying that because I'm an Eagles fan through and through. But yeah, the Rams look good this season too. So I'm going Rams, even though the Eagles are a 3.5 point favorite on this one. So I almost want to cry, but I can't. I just went against the birds. Anyway, let's do we'll do one more. We'll do Broncos Chargers, or do you want to do Lions Ravens because of Miles? Let's do Lions Ravens. What do you got?
I like the Ravens in this matchup, but I'm going back to the home factor. In Detroit, I might have kind of swayed me a bit, but I like Baltimore at home, out of the dome once again. And, again, this Ravens squad it's the Ravens. And, yeah, the Lions showed who they were last week. We know they got trounced, but I actually was the one who put the question for Miles earlier regarding the coaching changes, because I do believe that affected this Detroit team. So I don't necessarily think they're going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to be the Detroit Lions that we have known for the past couple seasons. So that's where I feel like we're not going to see, we saw again the offense come out, but I think there's some questions to their defense, and I think that's what the Ravens are going to exploit in this matchup. So I like the Ravens in this particular Monday night matchup. Going with the home team. I'm a homer.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The Ravens are 6-1 all time against the Lions. Their last matchup, the Ravens beat the Lions 38-6. Yeah, the Lions are coming off a strong week 2 performance against Chicago, obviously, Miles, and I talked about it, but Baltimore's offense is in excellent form. They've put up over 40 points in each of their first 2 games this season against the Bills and the Browns. Yeah, the Lions are 2-1 in Monday Night Football under Campbell, and this is just a fun week 3 schedule. I feel like the Ravens right now are favored by 2.5. I'm going to go Ravens. So. All right. Thanks, Jason. Ben's show, No Weddings in the Fall, is canceled for tonight, correct? But you can catch him here and on his show next week. And Jason, when TSS Fantasy tomorrow and Sunday?
Yeah, Friday at 9 p.m. We do a breakdown of all the week action. Basically we'll go through each game, talk about the guys we like and don't like. And then on Sunday morning, we do it's kind of like a variety show, I guess, if you will. At 8 a.m., nice, bright and early on the East Coast, where we kind of go over our picks. We give you some daily fantasy advice, and then we got betting advice as well. And we just do a bunch of fun stuff on there. I even have Fantasy Jesus bless your fantasy lineups on Sunday morning. So make sure you check that out for sure. One other quick thing I just wanted to add just so the viewers could watch out for it. I'm a numbers guy, obviously, since I do fantasy, And I, obviously did a little breakdown of all the games this weekend already for my show. And I just found the oddest anomaly where the Bengals and the Vikings, they have played over the last 2 times they've played, which was in 2023 and 2021. They had the same exact score, and I think the Bengals won them 27-24, both in overtime.
Oh, wow.
So that's a crazy little number thing just to throw out there. I just wanted to see if they can replicate it again.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the Blonde Blitz. And today's show was sponsored by Wish LBI and Underdog Fantasy. Go to Underdog Fantasy and use promo code BLONDE, and we'll double your deposit up to $100. If you like tonight's show, please subscribe, and you can follow us on all socials at the Blonde Blitz. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Football forever. Go Birds. See you soon.